When you define an array inside a class, you define it like any other data member. You can define arrays as a private, you can access them by using setters and getters, or you can define them as public, where you can access them directly when you create an object from this class. Also, when you declare an array, you can allocate memory for this array, or you can just leave it empty. For example, here we have an array called team, which is an array of a class circle, but we did not allocate any size for this array. So therefore, it points to null. However, when you declare an array and you allocate memory for this array, then this memory will be allocated immediately before the constructor is called. So when you create an object from this class, the first thing the system will do will come to the array, allocate memory for it, and then the next step it will go to the constructor. Let us take an example showing you how to define arrays inside the classes. In this example, first we need to create a class called the student that has 3 private data members. The first data member will be ID of type long. The second data member will be GPA of type double. And the third data member will be an array of type double. Its size is 5 for saving the grades for the different enrolled courses of the student. Let us do this part and come back and continue for the other parts. This is the class definition for the student class. The 3 data members, first is ID of type long, second GPA of type double, third is an array of 5 doubles. All of them are private, and notice we are already allocating 5 double values for the array. So when we create an object from this class, the system will first come and allocate these 5 doubles and let them pointed by a grade. And then it will jump to the constructor of the class. In addition to the 3 private data members, the class should have the following methods. First is a constructor to initialize only ID and GPA data members, a special method that is required to read the grades into the array, 2 accessor methods get, one for ID and one for GPA, and last we need to write a method to print as an output the ID, GPA, followed by the values of the grades. Let us go back to our class definition and show you how these methods are implemented. First is the constructor. As you see, it initializes ID and GPA. Next is a method that reads the grades from the user and saves them into the array grade. We ask the user to enter the grades of the student, and we are using the getID method to get the ID of the student. We are having a for loop that will iterate over the array, and in each iteration it will read the corresponding grade and save it into the array. Notice here we are reading the data from the user and saving the data directly into grade. So there is no need to save it into a variable, and then from that variable we copy it into the array. Another thing, we know that for arrays indices starts from 0. So therefore when we print a message asking the user to enter, let's say grade 1, grade 2, and it's so on, we need to start from 1. So this is why we are printing I plus 1 as a grade number. Notice that for printing the student ID, we are using the method getID. Although we can access the data member ID directly by saying this.id. But we did this just to show you that any method inside the class can call any other methods defined within the same class. Now the getters for GPA and ID are defined here. And finally, for the method to print the student information is defined here. A header is printed, information of a student of ID, the ID is printed, followed by GPA message equal to, and again we are getting GPA by using the method getGPA, followed by printing the grades of the student using a for loop. In every iteration, we are printing that the grade number is equal to, and we are printing the grade from the array. Finally, let us write a test program that reads the grades and print them on the screen for a student with an ID equal to 145 and GPA equal to 3.4. We will write this program inside a main method, and this main method we are going to define it inside the class. For testing the student class, we are writing the main method inside the class itself. First, we are creating an object of a student class using the constructor by supplying the ID and GPA. Then we are calling the setGrades method that's going to read the grades for the student. And finally, we are printing the student information using the method output. And this completes the implementation for this class. As you notice, we are defining an array inside the class, and also we are assigning a special method that is responsible for reading the data into this array.